I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I have roll call?
Mr. Antoine?
Here.
Mrs. Bonnick?
Here.
Mr. Connor? Here. Dr. Demas?
Dr. Demas?
Here.
Mrs. Eichhorst?
Here.
I am here, and Mr. Young is not here.
We will rise and state the pledge. It's behind you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Antoine, supported by Connor. Just want to point out a couple things. We did add, based on what was sent to you over the weekend, the Superintendent Resolution 43, which has to do with the facility bond timeline. It was just an accidental omission. And then if it was okay with you two, I would like to move 10 and 11 up, which is the second public comment and board discussion prior to closed session, because we aren't voting on anything in closed session tonight. Is that okay with everybody?
Okay.
All right, if that is okay, can you signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Turn it over to Dr. Robinson for the Bulldog Spotlight.
All right, well, welcome to all of our guests. A few months back, the board shared with me that they would like to see more staff and students. And tonight is some elementary spotlights, and we know all elementary children need a ride and an audience. So we're grateful for all of our students and staff that are here tonight. We're looking forward to hearing the highlights of some of the programs. We also have our top 10 from the Romeo class of 2024 that's kind of been celebrating all day. Started with a breakfast this morning, and thank you to those of you that could be here. If you're here for a class requirement, please raise your hand. So we have AP Gov students in the audience tonight. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you
And we
didn't wait
waited
till
till
the
the
last possible meeting to meet this course requirement. But if you did, you're here, and this is a good agenda for you to see. I want to tell all of our families and staff that are here that we will get through the Bulldog Spotlight, and then we will take a brief break, and we will allow you, if you want, to head on with the rest of your evening. If you're really interested in some compelling stuff, then staying through a couple-hour board meeting might just be right for you tonight, and you're welcome to stay if you want. AP Gov students, you don't get to leave when the Bulldog Spotlight folks get to leave. You gotta ride it out. So you'll know when that's done. Please remain until we get through highlighting all of the programs and students and staff that we have tonight, and then I'll let you know when it's time if you'd like. And if you can just make your way out and have that conversation with neighbors or friends or whatever outside so we can get the meeting going, that would be great. So let's dive in, Mrs. Bonnick. So the board's going to take the opportunity tonight to recognize our top 10. We've heard about the top 10 for really several weeks now, and they had their annual breakfast event this morning where they were able to bring their parents and also highlight an educator that's had a significant impact on them. And so there's a unique twist to the top 10 this year, and that is it's all girls. So girl power is in full effect, and these are some amazing young ladies. Mr. Oswald, if you want to come up to the podium, we'll click through. I think we have 7 of our top 10 that were able to be here tonight. And Mrs. Bonnick, if you want to award some certificates. Girls, when you come up, we have this row of handshakes that we do that is like the most esteemed thing you'll get this whole graduation season. So if you go down, and then if you just wait on the end, we'll get a group picture with the board president and myself and Mr. Oswald, and then stay and hear these wonderful things from these little people, and then you can hang on, head out to the rest of your day. Mr. Oswald, you want me to click? All right.
All right, Alyssa, now that you can come on up.
Alyssa was,
All right, well, Alyssa is with, at our Dem Academy, Alyssa GPA GPA of 4.049,
planning to attend Michigan State University to study civil engineering. Well, Lisa's not here today, so we'll move on to the next. All right, Rihanna Arkin also not here. Rihanna GPA of 4.053, planning to attend University of Michigan to study pharmaceutical science. You will see we have a lot of students going into the biomedical or pharmaceutical sciences this year, so pretty exciting to see. All right, next, sir. Gabby Eichhorst is here. Here she is. Congratulations, Gabby. Gabby is in our has a GPA of 4.056, planning to attend the Oakland Fire Academy to become a firefighter and paramedic. And for those of you that are wondering, we do how do you get a GPA over 4.0? Well, you have to take AP classes. The AP classes are worth a little bit more. So these students have gotten straight A's in some of the hardest classes that we offer here at Romeo High School. So pretty incredible. Next, sir. Hannah Timmets. Hannah, come on up, please. All right, Hannah is attending Newman University, not only for her high academic ability, she's also playing volleyball there. GPA of 4.063 and also studying biochemistry. So pretty excited to see what Hannah's going to do in the next 4 years. All right, Daniela Likai. Daniela. Going to attend Wayne State University, also to study biochemistry, a GPA of 4.066.
Geez, had one job.
All right, Katie Wenz. Congratulations. Katie, GPA of 4.07, planning to attend Oakland University, and she'll be studying nursing. Julia Schneider. Julia, come on up. Julia is actually the third member of her family to make it to the top 10. Very impressive, the Schneider family. Julia, GPA of 4.078, going to be attending the University of Michigan, studying chemical engineering. Ava Kafori, I don't believe can make it here tonight. Okay, so Ava, 4.08, she is tending to go to the University of Michigan as well to study biomedical engineering. So, all right, our class of 2024 salutatorian, Roxana Herrera. Roxana couldn't make it today? Oh, all right. So she'll be going to the University of Michigan as well. I believe is what she picked, right? Wayne State, I remember.
No, Wayne State.
She did, Wayne State, okay, very good. And studying biochemistry there as well. All right, and now our valedictorian for the class of 2024, Sophia Sunderland. Also the third member of her family to be in the top 10, very impressive as well. Sophia with a GPA of 4.101, attending University of Michigan to study political science. So congratulations. Like Dr. Robinson said, great to see all girls this year. Fantastic, very impressive, ladies. All right, congratulations to you.
All right, next up, we're going to shift to the elementary level, and we're going to hear from Hampar. Mr. Murray, you going to kick us off
Sure,
here?
absolutely. Good evening. Last but certainly not least for the Bulldog Spotlight is our elementary crew. Much like the secondary level, the work that we do is not just about reading, writing, and arithmetic. So each of our elementaries provides opportunities for our students to grow outside of the four cores. And we are here to celebrate that tonight. Like Dr. Robinson said, first up is the Science Olympiad team at Hampar.
I think they're over here.
Come on this way, guys.
Okay. All the
It's
way
really
down.
not that scary. I do it once a month.
I don't know why the adult is getting in the way. Yeah.
It's good.
It's on. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hi, we are part of the Hamilton Parsons Science Olympiad team. Science Olympiad is this academic competition with 17 different events that cover a wide variety of different science topics.
Some of the topics include anatomy, astronomy, biology, chemistry, circuitry, coding, earth sciences, engineering, lasers, measurements, rocketry, weather, and more.
Each of us choose a couple of events to do with an event partner. This year we had 31 students doing Science Olympiad, and we did the best that our school's ever done.
Hampar won 26 medals in our events. We earned the second and fifth place team trophies at our district tournament in March and the fifth place trophy at the big county tournament in May, where over 1,000 students competed.
One thing I love about Science Olympiad is not only the things that you learn, but the people you learn them with.
What I love about Science Olympiad is the competitive aspect. It encourages students to work hard to get a high score.
What I love about Science Olympiad is meeting new people.
What I love about Science Olympiad is that you learn a lot of stuff and information that you probably would never know until you joined the Science Olympiad program.
All right, Science Olympiad, Hampar, well done. Next up, I believe we have the Kindness Club from Hevel.
We are here this evening to share information about one of our many clubs at Hevel Elementary. Kindness Club was started in 2022 with the help of Miss Stabley and Miss Kiker. This year, we have 60 members who meet once a month to do service projects for our school and community. Some of these projects include
caroling at Orchard Grove Nursing Home and Assisted Living, where we dressed up in Christmas clothes and sing to the residents at the nursing home.
Creating cards for the local fire, police, and first responders of Washington Township for Valentine's Day.
We spreaded kindness in our school by rewarding positive behaviors like cutting out snowflakes and writing positive messages on them and sticking them on lockers and in hallways, and writing little cards for people to do their very best on M-Step. And we also created a blanket for a kid named Michael who is battling cancer as a keepsake and a present.
Finally, one of our most exciting projects this year was the kindness book we wrote and published. Tonight, we would like to share our kindness and present you each with our book, Hevel Shares Kindness from A to Z.
And hot off the press, we have a farm team, the Junior Kindness Club.
Thank you.
Why don't you wait a second?
Yep, wait till they pass the books out.
Did everybody get one?
Good evening, school board members and guests. My name is Ashlyn.
And I am Violet, and we are members of the Hevel Junior Kindness Club.
Our kindness club includes students in young 5 to 2nd grade. The goal of our club is to promote kindness to the Hebel community and the community around our school. At each meeting, we would play a game, sing our kindness song, and learn about what it means to be kind. This year, our club completed activities such as putting positive kindness notes on every locker at Hebel, writing thank you notes to our visiting author, decorating grocery bags for Sheena's Market with kind messages, played kindness bingo, and designed our club shirts. We finished our year with ice cream sundaes party and helped Mr. Essien do the morning announcements, where we sing our kindness song for everyone at Hebel.
Thank you, girls. Kindness Club, Junior Kindness Club. All righty, next up is our Indian Hills Lighthouse team.
Hello, I'm Amanda Rocha, and I'm a teacher at Indian Hills, and this is our student lighthouse team.
Hello, my name is Tegan. I'm a 4th grader, and I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to show leadership for our school.
Hello, my name is Aiden, and I am a 4th grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to help others share our school news and become better at public speaking.
Hello, my name is Zane, and I'm a 4th grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to help our school be better.
Hello, my name is Cora, and I'm a 4th grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to help our school be a better place.
Hello, my name is Adelina, and I'm a 3rd grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted our community to know what Leader in Me is.
Hello, my name is Esme, and I am a 2nd grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I follow the 7 habits daily. I like speaking in front of people and helping people.
Hello, my name is Jack, and I am a 2nd grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to be a good person.
Hello, my name is Bowden, and I'm a 2nd grader. I wanted to be on the Lighthouse team because I wanted to teach the part of the 7 habits.
A Leader in Me School is a program that empowers students to display leadership and life skills that they need to thrive in today's world.
It's an approach that believes every child has unique strengths and talents that they can use to lead.
One part of a Leader of Me school is to have a student lighthouse team.
This team leads our monthly assemblies where we showcase how our students were leaders during the month.
During these assemblies, we share how grade levels collaborated to help others in our community.
Each month, a different grade coordinates a community service project.
This year, 5th graders led an event called Socktober and collected items for the Samaritan House.
4th graders led an event to collect items for our local first responders to show appreciation for all they do for our community.
3rd graders made blankets for our local preschoolers.
2nd graders visit a local retirement home to read to the elderly.
1st graders created Valentine's cards to send to the local retirement home.
Kindergarteners led a school-wide event to raise money to adopt an endangered animal. They raised so much money that our school adopted 4 endangered animals.
Leader in Me believes that every child has the power to lead, and these community service projects give the students that opportunity. Thank you.
Hold on.
We need to get a picture of Vampire after.
All right, and bringing us home tonight, we have a trio of schools who are celebrating some special recognition through the Little Inventors program that our 4th graders take part in each year. This is Amanda Moore, Washington, and Hevel.
Yeah. Oh, can I do it? Hi, everybody. Thank you. I'm Mrs. Dunn, and I'm the STEM teacher at Washington Elementary. And this year, our 4th graders were able to participate in a program through the MISD called Little Inventors. The theme this year was called Michigan and Beyond. And our 4th graders were presented with 8 different challenges, real-world challenges from around the world, some local and some around the world. The students spent the next couple of weeks thinking and inventing possible solutions to the problems. And they were encouraged to think way out of the box. Bonkers ideas were welcome, and they really, really did a great job. We had overall about 1,500 4th graders from over 10 districts in Macomb County, participated. 250 invention submissions were turned in, and 10 ideas were selected to be brought to life. From those 10, 3 of the selected inventions were from Romeo. So we are extremely proud of our 4th graders. So we have 3, right? 3 of our inventors here tonight. If you want to put the next slide on, I think they can say their names and tell what they did.
Hi, I'm Bella, and I created the coral fan.
Hi, I am Scarlett, and I made the baby playtime crib.
Hi, my name is Lily, and I invented the tall house to stop floods.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we missed a couple photo opportunities. Little Inventors and teachers, will you come up here so we can get a picture? I'm guessing there might be some parents in those. How about if we just go at the end of the table down there and we'll get a picture of each group. Hampar and Hevel on deck, hang on, and we'll call you up. Mrs. Bonnick, you want to jump in that picture on behalf of the board? Thank you. All right, Hampar. Come on up, Science Olympiad group, bring those trophies.
Yeah, those are nice trophies.
So shy.
Jeez, oh, Pete. It's all right, just hold it. All right, and the Kindness Club? Hevel Kindness Club, come on up. No.
Where's the baby kindness club? Where's the little ones? There they are. We need them.
Oh, here they are. There they are.
Here they are.
Yes. That's it. I think that's everybody.
Indian Hills.
Indian Hills Lighthouse Team, sorry.
This one will be much better. Yeah.
Come on up close and get a picture.
Good job, guys. Love them. The little sir in the front.
Yeah.
All right, good job. Good job.
All right, thank you again to all who came out tonight for Bulldog Spotlight. We'll take a quick intermission. Any of those of you that are going to head on with the rest of your evening, please do so now.
That makes sense since she's playing volleyball.
Mrs. Bonnick, I think we'll move on to presentations.
Yeah, so we'll move on to presentations. I'm louder.
There's popcorn in the hallway.
All right, we're moving on to the RMS transformation.
So before we begin our presentation around the middle school transformation, I did want to mention Little Inventors. Tomorrow morning, our 10th grade mechanical design class are presenting their makers prototypes. So along with the ISD, our STEM teachers submit students' work, fourth graders, to our 10th grade mechanical drafting class, and they select one from each elementary school to actually prototype as well. So that's tomorrow morning if anyone's around, about 10 o'clock in the high school auditorium. So it's pretty cool to see our 10th graders actually make and prototype some of our fourth grade inventions. So I just wanted to mention that. Shout out to our high school team. So I'm going to give you a little background information. Beginning in August, this past 2023, so the beginning of this school year, we brought together a group of middle school staff, parents, students, and community partners to talk about this vision of what might the academies at Romeo Middle School look like. From some of those envisioning sessions, we then started to create our master plan. And within the master plan, there are 6 tactic teams or action planning teams. Wellness, communications, community engagement, integrative learning. There's the roadmap. Mr. Martz will be happy, sorry. Integrative learning, welcoming environment, and student-centered structures. So we wanted to present our journey so far along the roadmap. And with me are the principal of Romeo Middle School, Brad Martz, and 2 of our tactic co-chairs, Tiffany Heikala, who oversees our community engagement, and Allison Stein, who is the tactic co-chair in our wellness team. All of the other co-chairs couldn't make it tonight, so they're going to pop in, and the 2 here that are with me are going to share some of the information from the other teams. With that, I'll turn it over Mr. Martz.
Good evening, guys. So we're in year 0. Prior to all this work, we're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And so this kind of gives you 4 highlighted, really high-level bullet points that we're talking about. Rebranding advisory, we'll talk about more in the next slide. But planning team names and colors, competitions, assemblies, where it's a bigger middle school, we're trying to make it smaller by having that team concept, really kind of drive home a smaller group of students to make it feel smaller. So instead of in the past, we had team A and team B, 7B, 7C, we're actually gonna have names this year. So we have a big celebration of actually giving names to all our teams, which we do have a theme to it. I'm not gonna spoil a surprise for our teachers, and shirts and colors and that. And then competitions assemblies. So we want to get our kids back involved. So picture almost like Hogwarts, that style of getting points, of having competitions, team spirit, and recognizing all the things that our kids do all year round, such as grades, academic, band, choir, all the clubs and activities, and really kind of recognizing those students as we go. The next one you see there is a profile of a graduate has been made by the high school. It's a living document about how students will look in the exit the high school. We're doing the same thing, really aligning that structure, or the profile of a middle school scholar, to those 6 strengths and attributes, which is currently in the profile of a graduate. And you see the last one. This, I haven't said it very often yet, but the academies at Romeo Middle School. That's probably the 4th or 5th time I've said that out loud to everybody. But creating a logo and a design behind that to really kind of capture the academies of the new look, that transformation that Romeo Middle School is going to look like. So I'm going to turn it over to year 1. And we'll talk about the next 3 years in Allison Stein. We'll talk about our time in the lunch.
Hello, good evening. When we merged middle schools, it was a little intense, to say the least, as we merged together during the pandemic. So at the time, we thought we want to take this bigger school, and we do want to make it feel like that smaller community, like Mr. Martz was discussing. So we had used this idea of advisory. And instead of, it's okay, you can laugh. I totally said disgusting. It's okay. I don't mind if you laugh at me. It's okay. Oh, I'm sure he was. Yeah, I'm sure. I will hear about that for a very long time. Yeah, no worries. It's okay. No, and that's okay. That's okay.
It was disgusting.
Yeah. I talk to kids all day long. It's really okay. I say things wrong all the time. So when we brought those schools together, we knew that it was going to be a large population. And so we wanted to give that small feel, like Mr. Martz was talking about. So we started this class also of advisory. And over the time, we came together and did what we could at the time, but now we have our feet more wet, and we feel like at this point in time we could relaunch advisory into what we're going to call our time. So thinking along the lines of NGL, what we saw in Akron, going back to AMLE and to the surveys that we had from the school and from the community, we're launching it coming next year, called Our Time. R for Romeo, but also for Our Time, where we'll have that smaller feel. We're also going to move it to the beginning of the day so that it can every single day give us an opportunity to set the tone for the day, have kids come in, how are we feeling today, how are we doing today, and getting that positive vibe and tone set for the school day. It'll also give us chances to make sure we have built-in time to enhance social skills, time for movement, and then obviously anything too that we need for NGL can be filtered through there as well. Thank you.
Hello, hi, I'm Tiffany Heikela, and my part is explaining more about what the Explore part of next year is going to look like. So in year 1, we're going to have all of our students be able to connect with nonprofit organizations through our career nonprofit experience, so they can explore what nonprofits are about. So this is going to be available to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And we're in hopes that there will be an academy coach that will be the liaison between connecting our community partners with our students. Thank you. Okay. We're going to skip to the second bullet point. So in our 7th graders in year 2, if you look at the top part, it says engage. So this is where we're going to have our 7th graders start to engage with our nonprofit partners inside and outside of our school. And this is where we're going to move our 8th graders to dive in deeper with our nonprofit sectors, of actually having maybe an awareness program or an awareness project put together. So they're diving in a little deeper. And then we're going to go back with the sixth graders that are incoming back to that exploring from year one so they can start to explore what our nonprofits are.
And the two other bullet points you see up there, the top one is professional development. As we go through this whole process, our teachers need training, from project-based learning to team-in to Kagan to trauma-informed practices, all those different structures that we need to make sure our staff is ready to move forward. And that last bulletin down there is really kind of exciting for us too, the Student Ambassador Program. What this is going to be a group of students who actually talk to our nonprofits. They come in, greet kids, new students coming into the building, a lot of different opportunities for leadership that you'll see throughout here for students to actually have a leadership role at Romeo Middle School. And then finally, our last year 3, Empower. So you've seen kind of the themes as we kind of go through this. In their 8th grade year, so 3 years out from now, middle school kids want to change the world. They sometimes just don't have the skill sets or the knowledge or the way to go about that. So you see the Change Maker Challenge. This is where students will work with a nonprofit partner to make a change within the community. And so you see all these 3 grade levels as they go through this 3-year cycle will have these guaranteed experiences beginning with the 2027 and moving forward from there. So it's kind of exciting stuff that we're super excited to have, and we're doing a ton of work behind the scenes to make it possible for our kids here at Romeo. And I'll turn it back over to Ms. McFarland.
Thanks. So the theme that we, I think it was Mrs. Ebert, had one of our initial meetings with our community and our students and parents talked about our mission statement from our strategic plan, and we talked about exploring for 6th grade, engaging in 7th grade, and empowering in 8th grade. Hint, hint, that may have something to do with team names, just saying. But the teams are really excited. They've been working really hard. And as Mrs. Heichel has shared, next year, all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are going to get the experience of that nonprofit kind of exploration fair, just so everyone has an experience. It's going to be a 3-year rollout before they get all full experiences, but we felt it was important. We had some kids on the team this year that if we didn't give them something next year, I think they would be really, really sad. So the 7th grade year is that engaging with business partners. We wanted to have our 8th graders do something, so that's where we brainstormed the idea of them doing some deeper dive into some of the nonprofit sectors and creating an awareness campaign. And then by the time the 6th graders next year become 8th graders, they'll have that Changemaker Challenge. So the team's really excited. We're kind of waiting cautiously to move forward. But if there are any questions, the team and I are available to answer them for the board.
So I think the key here that we can begin to see kind of emulated is when we launched the academies at Romeo High School, there was an extensive planning process. This lift is as challenging. However, our planning process has been a little bit more efficient because we had been down that road. So the structure and function and the support of our community coach from Ford NGL really allowed us to get through this planning process this year. I want to thank these folks and Mrs. McFarland and many others who put a lot of time in to get us to this point. And I know for the board, you've heard mentioned in weekly updates, the group met again, and there's just been some anticipation and I think naturally some thoughts in the minds of even our parents and community members of, is this more of the same? And so it really isn't. For me, I would share with you that we really want to make the big school small. A 1,200 kid middle school is large. And the middle school has done great efforts to bring very unique schools together in the middle of a pandemic. And that's just, it's required some time. And so we really believe that this transformation master plan and this effort in rolling out over the next 3 years is really going to put us in a place where our middle school is as unique in the state of Michigan and across the country as our high school is. But it's going to be different because what we're really going to do is we're going to teach middle level adolescents what it's about to be a good person. And to understand this different nonprofit world and some other community agencies, but then to have impact. And one of the things personally that I'm looking forward to is to get our 12, 13, and 14-year-olds around adults other than their teachers and their family members and get them comfortable, because as they transition into this building and into the high school, I really believe they will be positioned to get even that much more out of their pathway experience while also knowing a lot about nonprofits. We've learned that wow, there's a whole nother business world out there.
There is.
In some ways, and there are very viable careers in the nonprofit sectors that we just assume nonprofit is donating and giving. But so we have a lot to learn, and I'm super excited. It is an exercise in patience. And so one of the best strategic decisions I think the team made was we're just going to give all kids the same experience next year to get things rolling, some additional training in that, and really redefine things like advisory, team identity and things like that, baseline things that might be good for a middle school that's just trying to be true to the AMLE, best practices. From there, it will begin to scale though. And we'll be able to get our 7th graders engaged and out. And I had the opportunity just to read a summary of some of the highlighted Changemaker Challenge projects from Akron schools, who this is the first year, 3rd year of their rollout, where they're actually completing the 8th grade journey. And it's amazing to hear these young people and what they proposed, and in some cases, community funding coming alongside these 8th graders' ideas with an organization who's going to help see this through for their part of the community. So there's a long-term vision that our kids will really leave middle school being a part of something that's created a change. And it might be initial, and concept with more follow-through to happen with future students in that, but we're just excited. And it's time to go and do.
Yeah, and the middle school staff heard this last week, so some of them are like, all right, let's go. Oh, it's the
Yes.
end of the year, but
So
we're anxious.
all middle-level adolescents, although sometimes they take a bad rap, have a pure heart, and they genuinely want to serve and help. They just need some direction, and they need some adult supervision. And I'm really excited to see, with the help of a super talented staff and great leaders, the impact that they're going to have on themselves, but also on the world at large. So thank you very much, folks, for being here. I've been looking forward to this presentation since October. So thank you very much.
Thank
More to
you.
come.
Moving on to consent action. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Rice, supported by Connor. This includes our general fund bills, which is our check register, our financial reports, which is our summary revenue and expense reports, the wire transfer, purchasing card expenditures, and the approval of minutes from our regular meeting on April 12th, our study session on the 13th, and our special meeting on the 16th. Are there any questions or concerns?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving to informational updates and new business. I don't have
We
any.
have no communications, Mrs. Bonnick. I'm not sure if you do.
I do
or
not.
I have a clarification. The MISD budget, it is not the biennial election year, so the resolution tonight is all that the board needs to take action on, and we forward that to the ISD. So the biennial, where we have to have someone go vote in person, I messed that up. It's just the one resolution tonight.
Okay, and do we have to read the whole resolution?
No,
No, okay. I mean, we read it to study.
Publicly, no.
But we don't have to publicly read
yes.
it.
So committee reports. We've had a couple committee meetings since the last regular board meeting.
Yes, and I think Ms.
Safety?
Rice is going to do safety.
Yes, we had quite a robust safety subcommittee meeting. It was a meeting of the whole. So the agenda included specific items from our board workshop meeting, and those were discussed and represented in the meeting minutes. So we kind of had a bunch of questions that we got together and we answered in the meeting. Let's see. There's a lot of writing, so bear with me here. We discussed the new SEC, which is Secure Environment Consultant, Shield Introduction. So we met the new president and founder, Mr. Jason Russell. He met with us virtually and shared about the company and the acquisition of SafeEd. And we got a chance to ask him all sorts of questions about his past and his special training. He shared with us some updates on the safety at the state level and current trends. He's really up into legislation, and he was able to give us a lot of good information, not just locally, but Michigan-wide. We talked about a follow-up on a school resource officer discussion, including current factors in Washington Township. That is still under discussion as of now. We discussed more to be done as far as safety and security. Dr. Robinson had given us a robust list of what we're actually involved in and what we've been doing. I forgot the name of the
Focus areas.
the focus areas, but the name of the survey that we did,
Oh, the risk and vulnerability assessments.
risk and vulnerability assessments, and we're actively working to finish those items. School zone signage, we discussed that. I think we're all pretty excited to get school zone, the flashing lights, the digital, but that's unfortunately not our district controlled, so that is more of a township. And then we just kind of discussed, medical responses. We went over protocols, and yeah, it was quite a robust meeting, so.
Thank you. All right, moving on to facilities, Mr. Antoine.
At the facilities meeting, we learned about some district-approved change orders that, sometimes when you're doing construction, some things come up during that process that once you start moving ground, earth and putting things together, you find out that you need some additional items. So the district approved four different change orders. We got all the details in our minutes. We talked about Group 1 and Group 2 projects. We were informed by Barton Mallow that the work is completed at Croswell in the new addition in the 100 and 300 hall. Work has begun in the media centers and the computer lab and former office areas. Once the school is out, the 400 and 200 hall renovations will begin with an expected completion this fall. We learned that the updates to the administration building is in the design phase, and we got to see some very early drawings of what that would be, what that would include. We had some discussion about the projects from the bond issue, and those projects, I believe Dr. Robinson's going to be talking about those that due to cost and whatnot, increased costs that are going to be deferred, and Dr. Robinson will be talking more about that shortly. Group 3 projects, our architect shared with us some initial drawings regarding the 9th grade academy, and it includes projects such as general education classroom, new science labs, art room, music room, renovation to the locker rooms, accessibility bathrooms, outdoor accessible bathrooms, and athletic storage areas. The nice thing about the 9th grade academy is that, and in this design, is that for access to the other services that are outside, such as the baseball fields and the tennis courts, that the design is going to incorporate the concession stand and whatnot within that building. We also learned about some sinking fund projects that are going on that Mr. Storm's working on. He's working on parking lots at Hevel, Roseville Middle School. I'm sorry, I said it. Romeo Middle School. I do that all the time, I apologize. Croswell and the auditorium lighting. Those projects are going on as well, and as well as some sections of roofing going on at Amanda Moore and Romeo High School. And the director's report included we have some resolutions on tonight for some maintenance trucks and for a mower, and a plan to refresh our inventory of our equipment for maintenance. And we also had a presentation on our technology update for our classroom presentation systems by Mr. Nelson, and that's also up for a resolution for approval this evening. So that's what I have.
Thank you. Turning it over to Dr. Robinson for superintendent's report.
Just highlighting for the month of June, curriculum subcommittee, June 3rd, upcoming next week. And then on June 17th, we'll have a finance committee of the whole in preparation for the budget hearing and final budget approvals and things that'll happen at our regular June 24th meeting. So the first part of my report tonight, it's budget time of year, so Vicky's here to share some information in advance of the budget hearing in the June regular meeting, because our municipalities really like us to move efficiently.
Yes, they do. They don't want to have to wait for us. So every year we develop a tax rate request that we submit to our municipalities so they know what to levy for the taxes on this summer's 2024 tax bill. This includes our operating mills, which is for our non-homestead properties, which are businesses, second homes, vacant properties, but not to our primary residences, and that's no change from last year. We also have our debt and sinking fund millages. That's for all properties. We're going to have 3.85 mils for our facility bond principal and interest payments. That's no change from prior year. And then our sinking fund, we will levy 1.206 mills for the sinking fund, and that's reduced from last year of 1.2127. That was subject to a Headley rollback, so we have that reduced this year. These tax rates will be approved at our budget, after our budget hearing on the June meeting. So I'm asking that we sign this form so we can get it to the municipalities so they can get their bills prepared and have them out by July 1st. So they're patiently waiting for us to do this. Just as a reminder, the non-homestead millage and the sinking fund millage were both renewed in November, and those millages will go into effect in July of 2025. So these are prior millages that were approved that we're going to levy for the 2024 year. Is there any questions, concerns? Okay, thank you.
So the resolution will come on the 24th.
It'll be when you approve, when the budget hearing and the budget is approved, that's
Okay,
part
this
of,
is
that's
part
all
of it.
part of it,
Okay.
yes. I just need a couple signatures tonight, so.
Any
I'll get that.
questions? We spent some time initially at the March workshop meeting, kind of looking at our priorities by groupings. And then more recently at our study session, we kind of recounted what the board had approved from Group 1 and Group 2 and looked ahead to what we were proposing as a timeline for Group 3 and Group 4 and a few remaining priorities that may come back to the board in the fall. So Resolution 37 tonight is our Group 3 priorities. Timely that we had our middle school transformation presentation tonight, and this resolution includes the addition of a 1.0 academy coach to begin to do that work of scaling up the programming and making connections with the countless number of community agencies and nonprofits that we'll need. This is similar work to what Mr. Bojo does for the high school with our business partners, and the capacity that this position will bring as we scale through a 3-year launch is vital to the support of the entire transformation. So that's there tonight. This is really continuing our 1.0 school nurse, and I want to highlight that that position will be included in our 31AA state grant funding. We have two other kind of support resource priorities in there. Approving some funding for online resources, K-5 ELA Tier 2 and 3 intervention supports, and then also Year 2 continuation of consultant support on CKLA implementation. Our coaches, this is definitely scaled back from what we did in the first year, but we believe this targeted support in Year 2 is going to help continue a successful launch. And then I believe, Mr. Murray, we're anticipating after that we'd be self-supporting beyond Year 2. So those are the Group 3 priorities connected to Resolution 37 this evening. I want to take a little bit of time to just go through the changes that we've been discussing in terms of updating the design and construction timeline. This is formally Resolution 43 that we amended to be included in the agenda this evening. So we're not quite to the reality of seeing everything in the first half of the bond, but we certainly have designed, bid, and awarded contracts through just about everything in the first half of the 2021 facilities bond. And we've learned a lot. The board will remember that Department of Treasury application was actually approved in July of 2021. Our construction management company and architects helped us to include a level of escalation that they knew was a reality at that time, but that, of course, has continued to grow over time. And so projects to do them the right way and complete them with fidelity have taken more money to do so. And so since the first of the year, you know that I've worked with Mr. Storm and Mrs. Lasky and Barton Mallow to just do a full reconciliation of what we've spent, and then we've taken the type of escalation that we've seen across the Group 1 and Group 2 projects by trade or by the portion of construction, and we've applied them to the planned projects for Group 3 and 4 so that we could have an idea of if we did everything with the fidelity that we've done the first half, what would the actual expense be? And that left us somewhere in the neighborhood of $9 million short. And to be honest, that number can grow a little bit with every project that we do. We're certainly hopeful over time that the supply chain and labor costs are going to stabilize. Maybe we'll see some relief, but we've got to make some strategic decisions because we're not going to be able to do everything. And we want to be very transparent with the community and our families about that. So for Group 3, our Group 3 projects are just entering the design phase right now. So they will design from February of 24 until January of 25, and then we'll actually begin construction on these projects in March of 25, and they will carry on into early of 2026. So for Group 3 projects, we have the Powell 9th grade renovation. The community who comes to these meetings gets to come into the part of the building that's already been renovated. However, you don't get to see behind all the doors of all the classrooms. And Powell is the last building that hasn't done a full classroom refresh. So that is definitely something we've planned for with the 2021 bond, and we're in design of that right now. We have some super exciting ideas about redesigning a whole new science wing in the building, repurposing a section of classrooms to be able to build what the need is biology labs, because when this building was built, it was a middle school and we weren't thinking about the need to teach biology, which is the main 9th grade science curriculum. So there's some fine arts classroom improvements and some things down in the locker room area that Mr. Antoine kind of gave a little teaser that we figured out a way to repurpose some space within this building to create outdoor storage for our athletic teams in the new part of the facility, and also for restrooms and a small serving concession area. And we're just trying to be mindful stewards because there isn't an outbuilding going in for restrooms and concessions in the new field renovation, but we think we, down the line, can be good stewards of our bond dollars and build it actually right in the east side of the building, so that's exciting. While we're doing the locker rooms here, we're also going to do the refresh on the middle school locker rooms. Just trust that they need renovation. And so we'll do that because it'll be similar contractors and contracts. And then our elementary renovations are in our different phases. So elementary playgrounds will receive a phase 1 update, and in group 3 that will be Indian Hills, Hevel, and Washington. I want to emphasize that part of what we're learning with the dollars that we have in this bond, there will actually need to be a second phase of playground investments, just dollars alone. We might not be able to land everything that we want to do for our playground updates. Similar with elementary renovation, we've gone through in phase 1 was that classroom refresh and a lot of work in the former bond with hallways and corridors and things like that. Phase 2 here is targeted to the media center and some other specialized areas. And so Amanda Moore in Washington will be first up in group 3 for those renovations. We have dedicated funding for the Hamilton Parsons parking lot, and we'll do that in group 3. And then there's some critical heating and cooling equipment replacements at both the high school and the middle school, and we'll do as much as we can in a prioritized manner to get those units started. Mr. Nelson's here tonight, and I've added to the construction timeline, even though that this is a technology upgrade. Our classroom AV system upgrades in grades K through 8 buildings will be a part of what we're rolling out this summer and into next year. And then we'll come back in group 4 and complete the 9 through 12 classrooms. Corresponding sinking fund projects, Mr. Antoine hit on these, some parking lot projects and some roofing projects. And so when we're able to plan ahead to do these projects, we can leverage the same contractors in many cases to do this work while they're in the district, although it's being paid for from sinking fund dollars. Group 4 is going into design in February of 2025 through January of 26, construction March of 26 through just after the first of year of February 27. These are estimates and construction timelines, but with the projects that we have on the list, we believe we can stick to them. So we have phase 2 of the RMS renovation. That's some work in the fine arts classrooms. We only did some entry-level work in the media center. There's some other specialty classrooms and science classrooms in the building that need some renovation. Elementary playgrounds, phase 1 for the other 2 buildings, Amanda Moore and Hamilton Parsons. And then that elementary renovation work, phase 2 for Hamilton Parsons, Hevel, and Indian Hills that weren't in group 3. We have some funds dedicated to the outdoor science center at Amanda Moore. That's just kind of been overgrown and needs some attention. And then those heating and cooling units that we don't get to in group 3 that we have funding for, we'll do in group 4. That second part of those technology AV upgrades as well. So when we reconcile the bond dollars, that leaves us, we reappropriated some funds across projects, but it leaves us with a deferred projects list. So the funds from these original Treasury Act projects are being utilized to support the completion of what you see through the updated construction timeline. So on the deferred projects list is the auxiliary gym at the high school and some of the associated work with that. The high school synthetic turf practice field, the JV baseball field for the high school that was actually designed or will be designed to be built on the Hevel playground site. We had bus purchase dollars in both Series 1 and Series 2, and so we're not going to do any bus purchasing in Series 1, but we still have about 2/3 of the bus purchase dollars available in Series 2. We have some technology upgrades and renovations from Series 2 of the bond that we're going to be able to delay. Some of these upgrades to our network and things like that are actually coming to the end of life in the second phase of this bond. So we're hopeful to just defer those until the next funding source is available. And then we've made 5% reductions to the renovation budgets at the 5 specific buildings you see listed here: Amanda Moore, Hamilton Parsons, Indian Hills, Croswell, and Romeo Middle. Over time, this is the only way for us to generate funds moving forward, would be to make further reductions to the renovation budgets to make sure we're balanced in the long run. And I want to make sure that we're certain, I know the board knows this, that these projects are delayed until additional funding is available. That could become available through us doing better through the second half of this bond, or additional funding that might come from a future bond or other funding mechanism. So that is what's in the resolution tonight to update the design and construction timeline. Hopefully after approval tonight, we'll be launching this updated graphic on the district website. It'll be available to view on the bond projects page. Also will be able to, is a downloadable, and we'll begin to create lobby boards and posters and things to put this out for the community to see. So you see the 2 projects that we've already, we've worked through 1, we're completing 2, and then the future 3 and 4. We'll highlight the sinking fund projects when we know what they are in the group year. And then our website over the course of this summer is going to become way more interactive, and we'll actually have picture viewer windows that can keep the district family, staff, and community updated as projects go through both design and construction. So last thing I have a lot of content in the presentation. I'm going to just share a little bit about our climate survey. We are through the analysis of our survey. Just quick background, we gave an original school climate survey in 2022, and 2 years later, we reached out to our stakeholders and gathered the information in December of this year, and then we spent the last several months working with our survey consultants, our district leadership team, to analyze the results of that. The purpose is just check back in 2 years later. Coming out of the pandemic, we had favorable survey results in 2022. We then approved a strategic plan, and we wanted to go back out and validate that. A reminder that school climate encompasses the social, emotional, and physical characteristics of a school community. Research shows that school climate factors have an impact on a student's sense of belonging, access to opportunities, and academic achievement. So we actually had participation levels just above 5,100, and in 2022 across the 4 groups, we were just below 5,100. So participation levels remained consistent. There's a lot on this slide that basically says we asked a similar number of questions. What is unique to this survey is for staff and students, we asked 3 new questions to check in on our strategic planning efforts, and for parents, there was 5 new questions. That collection of questions, of course, wasn't analyzed longitudinally, but was specific for some baseline information. The other unique change that we did this year is rather than giving our elementary students open-ended questions, we actually held student focus groups and met with groups of students from 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade to have a conversation with them about our 2 open-ended questions. The other change this year is we've been able to organize our results by the focus areas from the strategic plan that was not in place in 2022 when we gave the survey. We took the outcomes of the 2022 survey, brought them to the steering committee, and they were important information that was included in the development of our current strategic plan. So there's 7 key takeaways, and these are going to be published on the district website effective today, actually. In the Inside RCS tab, at the bottom of the list of choices there, you'll see the 2024 School Climate Survey. So simple 2.5-page report that would give you an overview of the outcomes of this. The key takeaways are things that we're bringing to the board, to our leadership team, to our staff, to understand, and also in some cases to act on, because some of our takeaways this year are specific to those questions we asked in reference to our work within the first year of the strategic plan. The second thing that you'll see is what we're calling strategic alignment. And we believed when we looked at the results after several months that in some cases this affirmed our work within the focus area. It made us say we have to have a continued focus on this, and these are specific to goals within the strategic plan. And then we also have had some new things come up, some new topics, some new areas that need some attention. And so we found the right place in the strategic plan to connect those two, and when necessary, we'll be writing new goals. So for safety and wellness, we have some strategic alignment. For teaching and learning, we have a section of strategic alignment, and then for the community of collaboration as well. So a couple of key bullet points there that talk about affirming the work we did in year one, continued focus as we move through year two, and then some new ideas that we have to think about when we begin to writing new goals as we think about the second half of year two, but probably more importantly, year three of our strategic plan work. So where is all this housed? Because there's a lot there, and it's as much as our parents, our staff, the board, and our community members want to dig into. And I know the board has seen some of these reports. So if you go on RCS and you pick the 2024 School Climate Survey link, you will see the list of reports as you see on the screenshot here. It would start with that executive report, which is kind of the quick read that will give you an overview of what we did. If you really want to get more into the weeds, then the comparative analysis report will give you graphical representations for every question we asked in 2022 and how the stakeholders responded then and how they responded in 2024. And I would remind the board and the community that all of those questions are asked based on a level of agreement. We're seeking how much the stakeholder groups agree to the questions presented. And then we analyze our open-ended responses to the two questions differently. This year we have a parent summary report, a staff summary report, and a student summary report. And within those, there's key themes. So mentions of topics that we saw the most, and then model responses. We've included 3 or 4 of the actual narrative responses from stakeholders that represent that theme. And then we're keeping on there the executive summary from 2022 just as a reference point if people want to look at that. So a lot of information out there, things that we'll continue to invest in, and some new things that we got to have on our radar as we think about next school year and beyond. That's all for my report tonight, Mrs. Bonnet.
Thank you. So any questions?
I just had a question about the climate survey, Dr. Robinson. Is there a time and place where the board can dig a little deeper into the open-ended responses as opposed to just a summary? Because I know some of the statements on the summary, they may sum up, the responses, but they don't really dig deeper to, we can make a lot of assumptions based on the statement. So is there a time and a place for us to kind of view some of those that brought to the conclusion in the summary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyone else? No? All right, moving on. I did not receive any public comment for this evening. So we'll move on to Employee Services Resolution 36, which is the personnel update. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Ikorst. Was that support by Connor?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody understands that it includes what was sent to you this weekend for the Amanda Moore principal as well. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the Superintendent Resolution 37, which is Leadership Priorities 24-25, Group 3. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Oh, moved by Ikorst. Support. Supported by Rice. Any questions or concerns? No. Seeing none, this is the academy coach, school nurse, online resource support. ELA Tier 2 and 3, and continued consultant support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Superintendent Resolution 38, which is the approval of the RHS Class of 2024 graduates. Moved by Demus,
Second.
support by Ikorst. Questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our Superintendent Resolution 39, which is the Macomb Intermediate School District Fiscal Year 25 budget approval. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Connor.
Support.
Support by Ikorst. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Facilities Resolution 40, which is the Operations Department Equipment Purchase Authority.
Motion.
Moved by Antoine, support by Demus. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Facilities Resolution 41, which is the Operations Department Lawnmower Equipment Purchase.
Motion.
Moved by Antoine,
Support.
support by Connor. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, this is out of the facilities bond. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Technology Resolution 42, which is the 2024 Classroom AV Upgrades Phase 1.
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Antoine, supported by Connor. This is from the facilities bond. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Superintendent Resolution 43, which is the 2021 Facility Bond Design and Construction Timeline Update. Moved by Demus. Supported by Rice. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, is there board discussion for the good of the district? Just see everybody next week at graduation. Make sure you bring your cap and gown.
And parking pass.
And your parking pass, very important. And we will be there cheering on Miss Ikorst's daughter.
Yay.
Yay. Anything else? I saw no public comment. Can I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of negotiations?
Motion.
Moved and supported. Did you get that? All right. Can I have roll call?
Mr. Antoine?
Yes.
Mrs. Bonnet?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Dr. Demus? Yes. Mrs. Ikorst?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
All right. We will return from closed session, but we do not expect any decisions.